friends, happy Wednesday. Welcome to What's Cooking Wednesday. Again, I am Christy, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me for a little while. Let's get to cooking. Today we are going to make something sweet. So the recipe for today for What's Cooking Wednesday comes out of this box. I paid $3 for it, and it's pretty full of handwritten stuff. There's a couple of cutouts and just old, like this for instance. Let me show you. This is an old baker's chocolate. An old baker's chocolate, half of the baker's Germans, I'm guessing German's chocolate, cooking and eating, German sweet, but they kept it because there is a recipe on the back for German's sweet chocolate cake, which ironically is kind of what we're gonna make today, but not really. We're not using this kind of stuff. But let me put it back because it was kind of holding my spot to where I got the recipe from. Okay, so today's recipe comes out of this box, and we are going to make a coconut pecan cake. Now, let me read you the ingredients. It's gonna be easy, so this should be quick. I don't have the oven on because, once again, hot, but I'll get everything ready, so all I have to do is just pop it in. Okay, so what today's recipe calls for, here, let me let you see it. There are no instructions really, except for mix and bake. So I will have to kind of guess at how long it's gonna cook for. I'm gonna probably start with like 30 minutes because it's cake, so probably start about 30 minutes and then check it every 10 minutes or so after that, depending on what the toothpick test looks like. So here is what the ingredients calls for. It calls for 1 package of yellow cake mix. I did buy the Betty Crocker Super Moist Yellow because it was on sale. Can't beat that, right? 1 package of coconut pecan frosting. So I got the Betty Crocker Rich and Creamy Coconut Pecan. It didn't say can, but I'm guessing back then, I don't know. This is what I got. And half a cup of Crisco oil. I do have Crisco on hand. 4 eggs, 1 cup of water, and then mix and bake at 350. So again, I'll start it at 30 minutes and then see how it goes. It says to mix, so I'm going to put this can of icing into the cake batter. And if that's wrong, then I guess we'll figure it out once it's done. But there is no icing on the top of the cake. So we'll see what happens. Maybe this is a good base cake and you add your own icing, maybe add another one of this. We'll have to wait and see how it turns out. But because it says mix and bake, underneath everything, I'm gonna add this to the batter. It might be thin, I don't know, because it calls for a half a cup of oil and 1 cup of water. Normally, let's see, the back of this cake mix calls for, I made 13. It calls for a cup of water, a 1/4 cup of oil, and 3 eggs. So we've got 1 extra egg and 1/4 cup more of water than what we need. So this might be kind of thin. So maybe adding this icing to the batter will thicken it up a little bit. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's see. Let's get going. All right, here we go. Let me put my hair back because it is hot. Hot. Okay. Hair is pulled back, hands are clean, apron is on. My hands are clean, even though I just touched my hair. I showered this morning. Y'all, it's fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so 1 package of yellow cake mix. It didn't say like the butter flavored. You know, they have different butter flavored cake mixes, so I got the yellow. All right, so we've got that. 1 package of coconut pecan frosting. I love German chocolate cake. I am not a fan of chocolate cake. I will say that. I always think it's dry. I love brownies, but chocolate cake, not a fan. But I do love German chocolate cake, only because of the icing. And I don't know if I've ever tried the coconut pecan canned icing. You should just make it from scratch at home. Half a cup of Crisco oil. You know what, let me add my water first because I have the water in my measuring cup already. So let's add that in, and now I can put the oil in the measuring cup. And I hope that's enough oil. Spot on, yay. Half a cup of oil. And then we just need 4 eggs, and that's it. So if this turns out to be a good cake, this is probably gonna be one of the easiest cakes. I've already cracked the eggs. so y'all didn't have to wait and watch. So there's 4 eggs in there. Can you see the 4 yolks? 4 eggs. And it says mix. I did go ahead and get the beaters out. All right, I'd say everything looks good and mixed together. Let's pour this baby into my cake pan. I have a 9x13. I have already sprayed it, so it is ready to go. 9x13, right? Yes, 9x13. It looks a little more watery, I guess. I don't know. What do you think? On my cake, oh, I guess it looks like cake, regular cake batter pouring out. Can y'all see that? Sorry, I kind of got off camera there. What do you think? That looks about right. Cake consistency, right? There we go. Our coconut pecan cake. There's the batter. Ready to go in the oven. I'll wait until I get off the camera to bang it to get the bubbles out. But there it is. And hopefully it'll taste good once it's cooked. We are today making the coconut pecan cake. Here is the recipe once again. Hope you can see that. Easy peasy. Oh, this is from the kitchen of Miss Norma Ross. And I probably got this box either somewhere in Fort Worth, Arlington, Texas, somewhere around the area. So if you are watching from the area and you know a Miss Norma Ross who makes a coconut pecan cake, let me know in the comments. Maybe she'll let me know if I'm making it right or if it has a different icing that goes on top. Y'all have a wonderful day. Be kind, loving, and helpful. Do something nice for yourself and for somebody else today. And have a wonderful day. Go enjoy the sunshine. Get some natural vitamin D. Get you a little bit of sunshine. And y'all have a great day and be blessed. Okay, catch you later. Bye. Welcome back to part two of What's Cooking Wednesday. We are going to do the verdict of what we made earlier today. So today's recipe that we made earlier came from this box right here. Paid $3 for it. And it's full of recipes. So what we made, and it was actually really quick and really simple. It's backwards, but I'll show you. Here is the recipe we made today. Stop. It is a coconut pecan cake, and it consisted of 1 package of yellow cake mix. So I used the Betty Crocker Super Moist Yellow because that's what was on sale at the grocery store. And then it calls for 1 package of coconut pecan frosting. Again, I used the Betty Crocker. They're rich and creamy because this is the only brand that had a coconut pecan frosting. So I don't know if like Duncan Hines or Pillsbury, they might, but the store I went to only had Betty Crocker. So those 2, 1, and then it calls for a 1/2 cup of Crisco oil. I did use Crisco, stop. 4 eggs and 1 cup of water. And it says mix and bake at 350 degrees. So I mixed it all together, icing included, and I baked it for about 37 minutes in my oven. I checked it at 25 minutes because the back of the Betty Crocker box, the cake mix box, said 25 to 29 minutes in a 9x13, and that's what I put it in. So I started at 25, and then I bumped it 5 minutes, and then so it was about 37 minutes total is what I cooked it for. And it's been completely cooled. I left it in the pan, so let me flip it around so you can see. And it has shrunk a little. It was higher, but as it cooled, it kind of like settled. So let me flip you around. Flip, flip, flip. Okay, here is what it looks like. So it did kind of like puffy up on the, it's kind of on the corners, how you can see it kind of, it's raised up, kind of sunken in along the edge, but it did pull away nicely from, so I bet I could just like lift this entire thing out. And I don't know if it's because I sprayed it well, or it pulled away from the sides really, really well. So let's cut a little piece and let's give it a taste. I have my official taste tester here with me today. And I don't have icing on it. I did buy icing just to put on it later. But,
Would you get a plate?
Do you need a plate?
I don't know.
We don't need a plate. Okay. Just grab it and just try a bite. That's how we do it. Good? I know you're not a big pecan fan, nut fan, but is it good in there? Does it taste like coconut? Is it fluffy? Yeah, I'll try a bite. Hang on. My turn. I don't think I'm just gonna go in for a bite. Maybe I'll break a little piece off because it feels very fluffy and moist. It's like, see that? It's pretty fluffy, seems pretty fluffy. Let's try it. It's good. I think it's a good cake. You slap some more icing on that, I know you got a winner, man. Super easy. I would grab another can of this and throw it on top. That's good.
It is good.
It is good.
I like it.
You like it very much. Thumbs up. So see, it is very, and there's a big old hole there. But before I put it in the oven, and I didn't do it on when I was doing the live, I did kind of bang the pan a little bit to try to get some of the bubbles out.
Papa would like a tiny little slice.
He can come in here and get it. But see, it is very fluffy. It's not like thick and dense. I'd say this is a thumbs up. I did buy some icing, just, you know, for the kids' purposes. And I totally just dropped that piece of cake.
You dropped the cake.
Yeah, I say this is a winner. So if you try this recipe at home, let me know what you think. You can taste the coconut, you can taste the pecans, and of course that again is from the icing that is included. I don't know, it's good. I think even if you use like the butter cake mix and not just yellow, like a butter, to give it like a butter flavor, or heck, even like a chocolate, and then put another can of this on top, and you got yourself a good German chocolate cake. And easy. Not technically from scratch, but it's scratch enough because you're putting it together and you're cooking it. Miss Norma Ross. Thumbs up for me, Miss Norma Ross. And if anybody knows Miss Norma Ross, who her recipe for the coconut pecan cake, if you know her, send her my way so I can say thank you for this recipe. It is delicious. Let me know if you try it. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Be blessed. Say your prayers and have a good night. Let me know if there's anything you want me to find. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you next time. Bye, you guys.